warriors, how y'all doing? I decided to make a PMDD video series because I still get a lot of reactions on my previous PMDD video, which I will link in the description box down below for you guys. If you haven't seen it, you can go and check it out. People commented on how grateful they were that I shared this video and that it made them feel less alone, which actually made me cry because I can totally feel the desperation they must be going through. Because I went through the exact same thing a few months ago, and even though I've been able to relieve my PMDD a little, which makes it more bearable and manageable, I still go through a really tough time every 2 weeks, sometimes even 3 weeks before I need to get my period. Now I will make a video about how I relieved the horrible symptoms of PMDD in one of the next videos of this PMDD video series. But in this video, I first wanted to talk about what PMDD is exactly and the seriousness of it. Because what I find so tragic is that the manifestation of PMDD in people often looks like mental illness or mental instability, but it's not. And I don't even want to know how many women are out there who are being diagnosed with bipolar disorder when really they're just temporarily insane because of their PMDD, which is caused by a fluctuation in their hormones. Now, before we get into all of this, I want to ask you to just pause the video and give it a big thumbs up and share it on your social media platforms, because the more views this video gets, the more women we can actually help. Now, without further ado, let's get into PMDD. PMDD stands for premenstrual dysphoric disorder, and it's like PMS, but way worse. 3 to 8% of women suffer from this condition. Dysphoria is the opposite of euphoria. You feel agitated, irritable, angry, nervous, depressed, and sometimes even paranoid. Dysphoria is a term we mainly know from serious psychiatric illnesses. It's a term often used for people suffering from severe depression, sometimes in the context of a bipolar disorder. So this term definitely says something about the severity of the complaints for people with PMDD, which are much more serious than with PMS. Like I said, the complaints for people suffering from PMDD are much more serious than the complaints for people who are suffering from PMS. But before we get into the unique symptoms of PMDD, let's look at some of the similarities between the two conditions. In both cases, the symptoms start about 5 to 11 days before and disappear a few days after the start of menstruation. Other symptoms that occur in PMS as well as in PMDD are a bloated feeling, headaches, muscle aches, sensitive or painful breasts, fatigue, trouble sleeping, concentration problems, and what a surprise, binge eating. So what are the causes of PMDD? First, I will say that I'm convinced doctors don't even know themselves. There are a lot of theories on the matter, and I will dig deeper into them because, like I've said, I'm doing a video series about PMDD, so there will be a lot of videos coming up. So the exact cause of PMDD is, until this day, unknown. What doctors do know is that anxiety and underlying depression can play a role in the development of both PMS and PMDD. So it's very likely that the symptoms of these mood disorders are being intensified by the hormonal fluctuations occurring during the menstrual cycle. Furthermore, there are a number of factors that may play a role in the development or triggering of PMDD. For example, PMDD is more often diagnosed in women whose mothers have had severe menstrual complaints. Certain unhealthy lifestyle factors, such as an unhealthy diet and little exercise, seem to influence PMDD. Women with a history of drug addiction, alcohol addiction, or thyroid problems are also likely to have a greater chance of a premenstrual dysphoric disorder. Now, I'm definitely going to talk about the importance of a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle when trying to relieve the symptoms of PMDD or even when trying to cure PMDD, because certain things that I've changed have helped me tremendously. So definitely stay tuned for the next PMDD videos because I'm really excited about them and I want to help as much people as I can. I want to help people get their lives back. Now, what are some unique symptoms of PMDD? Here are some symptoms that will allow you to distinguish PMDD from PMS. In general, the complaints I've just talked about, which occur in both PMDD and PMS, are way worse in people who suffer from PMDD than in people who just suffer from PMS. In addition to these symptoms, people with PMDD also suffer from the following complaints: anxiety attacks, very serious depressive episodes, seasonal affective disorder, extreme mood swings, a feeling of despair and/or even suicidal thoughts. And the funny thing is, you're not suicidal. The suicidal thoughts will go away the moment your menstruation starts. I've read that there are a lot of women who commit suicide in those 2 weeks before they need to get their period just because of their PMDD. And that's so sad because no one probably even knows about this. Do their relatives who are left behind even know that it was temporary insanity and that if someone would have been able to help her to push through those 2 weeks, that she would still be happily alive? How tragic is this? A lot of women know that there is something wrong with them, but they just don't know that it's PMDD because a lot of doctors will either miss it or they just won't take it seriously. Another symptom is aggression or anger attacks towards others. And you can't control it. That's the thing. You're being irrational. You know you're over-exaggerating, but you just can't stop the rage inside of you. You even feel like this is normally not you, and you're so embarrassed, but as you are displaying the behavior, you can't stop yourself from acting this way because it's the hormones taking over. You have no control whatsoever. A lot of women get fired because of this or even lose their family because their partners just can't take it anymore. Another symptom is having less interest in certain things, and this is very recognizable. Things you're normally so passionate about, things that normally make you happy, things that make you feel alive, suddenly don't seem to interest you anymore. And it's depressing because you just don't get it. You just don't understand why there seems to be nothing on this earth that can make you happy. It seems like you're going to be depressed forever. And another important symptom is having feelings of overwhelm and loss of control. So, dear warriors, I will make a lot of videos in the upcoming weeks, and in those videos I will share with you guys how PMDD manifests itself in me and how I was able to start relieving the symptoms of PMDD a bit to make it more manageable, more bearable, and how I'm experimenting to make it better. I feel like we need to form a really strong community where we can share our pain and support one another. Because just knowing that you're not alone can really make a very big difference. It can just make it more bearable. So if you have tried something to relieve your PMDD or even cure it, then make sure to just share it in the comments, because maybe there's someone out there who desperately needs this advice, and maybe you will even save a life. Okay, warriors, I will see you in the next video. Stay tuned, and I love you. And please stay strong. Mwah.